Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to be doing another advice video. So people submitted their questions, their concerns, their situations that they need my advice on, and I chose a couple to go over in today's video. So if you want to participate in a future video like this, be sure to give me a follow on Instagram and fill out the entry form on there. So let's get started. All right, so the first submission is from CJ. He says, "Hey Courtney, I enjoy your channel. Thank you for your sound advice. I am 29 years old and work in the medical field. I was dating a girl who was 22. We were dating for about 9 months, and I wanted to know where we were at. I asked if she could see us getting married someday, and she said she was unsure. I ended the relationship because being unsure meant a no for me. Do you think 9 months was enough time to know if you could see a long-term relationship with someone, or should I have been more patient? She was a good girl with many positive attributes, which makes me question my decision." So I will say, a lot of the times when you break up with someone or things end, if they ended on okay terms, like just not on bad terms in general, I think it's very normal to question your decision. And often we tend to think of the good times instead of the bad times, which is a whole different story on getting over someone and getting over a breakup. But to answer your question specifically, keep in mind the age difference here, because she's 22 and you're 29, and the amount of growth and change and just life experience between those years is exponential for a lot of people. So I think it's important to keep in mind that she might just be at kind of a different place than you. If you were dating a 28 or 29-year-old, sure, after 9 months, they might be able to tell, do I see myself marrying this person? Do I not see myself marrying this person? I think as you get older, you know what to look for a lot more. You know what your deal breakers are, and if you would see yourself long term with someone. But if she's only 22, if she doesn't have a ton of dating experience, I think sometimes it's kind of hard to see that for yourself when you're so young or you lack experience. So just something to consider there. Again, I don't want to generalize and say after 9 months, everyone should know if they want to marry that person. I mean, I've been dating people for years that it didn't work out with, so that's just kind of the way that it is. But I do think after 9 months, you kind of should have a good idea of, okay, do I like this person enough to keep dating them, or is it time for things to maybe end? I think most relationships tend to end, if they don't end up working out, around the year mark, because I think after 6 months, 9 months, you kind of get a little more comfortable. The true colors kind of come out, and for a lot of people, that's not always a good thing. So again, I can't generalize and say after 9 months she should know, but I think the older you get, the easier it is for you to tell, do I want to be with this person or do I not want to be with this person? Do I see myself with this person forever, or do I not see myself with this person forever? And at 29, you probably have a pretty good, grasp and understanding of that, but at 22, she might not. You could have been together for 2 years and she might still, not have been ready for that. So that's kind of one of the downfalls of dating someone that's a lot younger than you or even a lot older than you, just someone with a bit of an age gap, is that you guys are just at different places in your lives, and you have to kind of consider that with situations like this. Okay, my next submission is from Muhammad. He says, "My girlfriend has a job. I have a business that makes good revenue. My girlfriend asks for expensive gifts, and I always give them to her. But as soon as I give her one gift, she starts asking for another one." Okay. "It's like a full-time worry to provide this gift because it requires a lot of time and money to go and purchase it. I must add, she is extremely grateful every time I give her the gift she asked for. What do you think is happening here? Am I a poor bleep who is whining, or is she a high-maintenance chick or a gold digger? Thanks." So what it sounds like to me is you are always saying yes to her, right? So she knows when she asks you for something, she's just going to keep expecting it because you have not set any boundaries in your relationship. I think in a relationship, with any relationship, if it's friendship, romantic, with your parents, whoever, it's so important to set those boundaries and kind of set the tone from the beginning so that people don't go in with unrealistic expectations and she's just going to expect, gifts from you all the time because you've never told this girl no. As much as I know girls like to hear the word yes, I'm sure she loves when you buy her things, it is important to tell her no sometimes. It's important to set those boundaries so that she doesn't just expect things from you, especially if you don't feel comfortable with it or it's stressing you out or it's, kind of a big deal for you. She is continuously getting whatever she wants from you, so much so that now she's gotten to the point where she just expects it. She's been kind of trained subconsciously to expect another gift even though she already got one, because you just always say yes and you keep giving it to her. So if you're not comfortable with this, I think it is important to start setting those boundaries. And you know what? If it's gone on for quite some time, she's probably not going to like that. But I think her response to you setting that boundary says a lot about her in general, and the relationship that you have with her. Is she only with you because you're buying her gifts? When you set that boundary, you're going to find out, and the is she a gold digger or is she high maintenance thing is going to show itself. She can either start A, buying things for herself if she wants them, or B, not expecting you to do it every single time, or C, she can leave. And if she leaves, that tells you all you need to know. And I am totally all about embracing your femininity and stepping into that, but that does not require the person you're with to be buying you gifts all the time. Maybe her love language is gifts and she feels loved when you buy these things for her, but it should not be something that is putting you in financial distress or making you stressed out in general. Like, that just should not be happening. And again, I think it's so important to set those boundaries so that you don't feel like that and you enjoy buying things for her and, she's not just expecting it. And I'm going to leave you with one more thing here. Never ever risk your financial security for a girl. Ever. All right, my next one is from Gabriel. I refuse to be in a relationship right now because I feel like I would jump between significant other to significant other and hurt people because of it, because of how unstable I feel I will be in a relationship if I were in one. Any advice you could bring to guys on how to work on themselves so we can be stable on a long-lasting relationship with one person? Thanks in advance. First off, I would start by saying good for you for being self-aware. I think it takes a lot to admit that you're not ready to be in a relationship, and sadly not a lot of people do that. So good first step for being self-aware and just knowing that about yourself. Secondly, I want to tell you that the most important relationship that you will ever have with anyone in your entire life is the relationship that you have with yourself. So if you're not at a good place there, if you don't have a solid foundation there, it kind of is going to reflect every other relationship in your life. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship. The relationship you have with your family, with your friends, with a partner, whatever it is, it really does set the stage for that. So I think it is important to have a good solid foundation within yourself. I'm not saying that you need to be completely healed or perfect. That is impossible. And as life continues to go on, things change, we evolve, we grow. We are never perfectly fully healed, right? We're just a work in progress. It's something that you have to work at your entire life. So to put in your head that you need to wait until you're like fully healed or whatever it is silly. And you're basically setting yourself up to be alone forever, because that's never going to happen. And you learn a lot of different things about yourself when you're in a relationship versus when you're single. So even though you're single and constantly working on yourself, there's going to be things that come up when you get into a relationship because there's another person involved. And it takes work and effort and growth together to make that work so that you can, have a healthy, withstanding long-term relationship with one person. Life is constantly changing and it requires us to evolve and grow along the way, and the person that you're with should be willing to put in the work and do that with you. So again, I think it's great that you're self-aware, but just know that you might surprise yourself when you get into a relationship and you're already at a point where you have a good foundation with yourself, you're happy with yourself. Of course, there's still a little bit more work to do, but you can do that with someone, and I think it's really special when you guys can work and evolve together. The last one I have today is from Preston. He says, "Hi Courtney, I'm a big fan of your content and have implemented it into my own life, which I'm grateful for you sharing." I'm so happy. My question is, how should a guy reshape his mind after listening to all of these alpha gurus who are grifters making videos like 10 reasons you're not getting laid and how to get laid, or whatever it might be? The reason I ask is that I followed this for a long time and it ruined my confidence until I stopped a while back. This is a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I don't get involved in drama. I don't fall into the trap of the clickbait crap on YouTube. I think it's toxic and horrible. However, I will say this, and it's something that I talked about on my Instagram recently when I did a Q&A. Someone asked me a similar question, and I get this question a lot. So you're not alone in feeling this way, and that's why I think it's so important that I address it. This might offend some people. This might trigger you, whatever the heck it is, but I think it needs to be said. If someone is calling themselves an alpha male, chances are they aren't one. The terminology is honestly so lame to me, and if you're someone who is confident or a leader or you embody those alpha male type qualities, those are things that are just going to simply speak for themselves, and you won't have to go out of your way to make a video about how alpha you are or prove to anybody that you're alpha. And again, it will just speak for itself, and you won't have to push that onto people or prove that to anyone. People get very caught up in labels, and that is something I realized when I started posting on YouTube. There are labels for everything: introvert, extrovert, alpha male, beta male, sigma male. I mean, there are a ton of different things out there, and I think it can be good for, describing something or kind of making things a little bit easier for people to understand. But there are people who go way too far with this and make their entire lives like revolve around it and take it to the extreme. And I think that's where it's not a good thing. I think it's important to have a healthy balance, and sometimes getting really caught up in labels or labeling yourself can be kind of detrimental to your personal growth and also not good for your mental health. So what I'll say is this: watch content from people who practice what they preach, who you genuinely look up to, and who have integrity. If you're watching someone or following someone and you think to yourself, wow, I would not want my life to be anything like this guy, I don't want to be anything like this guy or girl or whoever it is, don't follow them. And I'm so sorry, but any guy who makes a video about how to get laid or how to sleep with this many women, or I've slept with this amount of women and I'm so alpha, it's gonna be a no from me, dog. It's cringy, it's lame, and I would highly recommend not following people like that. Of course, who you follow and who you interact with is your choice, but again, keep in mind and be mindful of the content that you're consuming and the things that you're spending your time, effort, and energy on. If you're constantly interacting with this content that's, toxic or negative, or telling you need to sleep with this many girls to be an alpha male, or just talking about crazy stuff, your life is going to start looking like that, and I guarantee it's going to be a downward spiral that, like you said, is most of the time not a good thing. Be confident, be authentic, create a life that reflects those things, and you will be just fine. So again, be mindful of the content that you're consuming. It's incredibly important. Make it a goal for 2022 to, really be intentional about the things that you're spending your time on, the people that you're following, the content you're interacting with, all of that. Alright guys, that is all I have for this video. If you liked it or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. Again, that's how you participate in videos like this. You fill out the little entry form. I have a story highlight called Need Advice, ? And the form is on there. So definitely be sure to go fill that out if you have a question. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.